What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tonyd2wild checking in once again, back with a review of the upcoming Jordan 4 Wet Cement. Before we get into today's video, guys, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel as always and following me over on Twitter and Instagram at Tonyd2wild. Links are all down below in the description, and let's get on with the show. Today, guys, we have the review of the upcoming Jordan 4 Wet Cement, also known as the Paris Olympics, set to release on July 27th for a retail price point of $225. And off the rip, when it comes to this shoe, and I gotta say, for pretty much all Jordans, specifically for the 4s this year, this has definitely been one of the best quality Jordans to hit the scene. And there's a reason why, of course, it has that $225 price tag. A lot of y'all asked in the comment section when it came to the got 'em early or the first look of the shoe, how it was compared to that of the Jordan 4 Craft. It has a lot of those characteristics of the Jordan 4 Craft, but I feel like it's even slightly a little bit above that as well. You see here a whole bunch of nubuck, suede, and some little bit of leather being played throughout this whole entire shoe. Is mainly nubuck and suede, actually. I don't think there's really, nubuck, suede, it's all parts of leather, but mainly a nubuck and suede featured on this particular shoe. On the toe box, you have, which is a suede, but is a very hard suede, a rough distressed suede, a suede that feels as if it was wet, then left out to dry, and it has that hard type of rough feeling, and then hit with maybe a steel wool brush of some sort to kind of get that fuzz a little bit back up there. But it is a very overall tough toe box featured around the toe box. It's a rough toe box. Then on the uppers here, you have a very soft, which I thought was suede as well. You know, I get my suedes and my nubucks mixed up, but this may be very well a nubuck material featured on that upper here, and it goes back into the suede featured on the inside. The inside around the ankle and the back of the tongue has that very soft suede like material being featured there, and you have all these different shades and tints of gray featured on the entire shoe. Now the wet cement, you can see also here featured on the box, and the Jumpman logo itself has that wet type of look on the upper here, and the actual box itself is decked out in that cement overlay. And from what has been stated, the inspiration, of course, has been by the streets of Paris, the gloomy, rainy streets of Paris, the wet cement streets of Paris. And there's also been some people even stating from the steel of the Eiffel Tower. That's what some people in the comment section have said, but from what I mainly have read, it has a lot to do with the streets and the walk and the lifestyle of Paris itself. And then the Olympics to go along with it. The Olympics is in Paris this year, and the Olympics does start, I believe, July 26th. I could be wrong, but it's like the 25th, 26th, 27th. It's starting around that time. Alexa, when does the Olympics start?
The 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris will start on July 26, 2024.
There you go.
And August 11, 2024.
There you go. So it drops on the 26th. These drop on the 27th. So it all makes sense now at the end of the day. Now the shoe says the Jordan 4 Retro SE Special Edition, smoke gray / iron gray. And this is a 9 in particular with a 10.5 for the women out here. The 9 fits, in my opinion, very, very lovely. 8.5 would have worked as well, but I do feel like this has a little bit more cushion. It just felt like a really good snug 9. So I would not necessarily need the 8.5, but it would have been an even more tighter fit. You don't have any of the actual plastic webbing that is featured on the Jordan 4. Like you see here on the military blue, you have the netting there. That is not featured here, but the debossed look, whether you want to call it debossed or embossed, it depends on what part of the material you're looking at. Of course, the lines are debossed in, but the material that is popped out, embossed out, is the would be the material that is poking through the netting. So the blue part is embossed, the white part of the net on the military blue, comparing the two, is the debossed part. So it is textured. You can feel, you can rub it, you can feel all that throughout the whole entire side panel as well as on the tongue. So they removed the netting, but they kept the overall, I guess, shape or look of that netting with the debossed and embossed of materials on the side. The tongue itself is actually debossed with the logo and the square around there that would normally have your typical patch on the tongue. That is all debossed. Has a little dark, inner printing on the inside to give you that contrast so you can actually see it on the shoe. The laces are flat with a semi-wax, but it's really not. Like, you could see it in some when shining, when it wax lace, you could definitely see that shine and that reflection. There's not that much of that there, but you can feel the substance of that waxing going on here when, you know, looking at the shoe and doing a simple little twist. You can just tell there is a little bit of that going on. And there's also a lot of that fuzziness going on the laces as well. I don't know if that plays in the part of the wet cement, you know, of getting cotton or getting something like that soaked after time, you start to get that fuzzy, those frizzies going on, and that's me just probably adding a little bit more to it to make it make all sense. But you also have that wet cement type of impression and look on the wings here with some slight speckling going on, slight eroding going on, different textures like what you see here on the cement on the box. That is also featured on the back of the shoe as well. It's all that speckling. It's funny we even talk about cement because obviously the Jordan 4, the, you know, the OG, which I don't think I have it here now, is put up, but of course the, you know, the original Jordan 4 is the white cement, and it has the cement print on the cement, you know, cement print, cement speckles on the back here, on the wings, on the midsole and all that. So they kind of play into that white cement with this brand new version, wet cement. A lot of people compared it and contrasted to the Jordan 4 calls that released a couple years back, but you know, they're in their own league at the same time. But I definitely feel like these look very, very nice as well, and I feel like people will deeply appreciate these and go after these, and these are definitely very high up on the market right now when you know, giving them a look. The inside, you have a Jumpman logo featured there on the insole, so it's a light with a dark Jumpman logo. On the back of the tongue, you have the Air Jordan, of course, as always, with a darker gray patch featured here, and they're solid, bro. They're solid. These are going for, like I stated, maybe I didn't, but like $325 in the secondary market. They are a couple of weeks out, but from what I'm hearing, they're a little bit more limited than normal, so we'll have to just wait and see how the market goes. $225 for a Jordan 4. We've seen it before, you know, we've seen it with, you know, recently the oxidized green 4s were $215. The Jordan 4 military blue were $215. Oxidized green have went for below retail. Military 4s have went at around retail. And then you go back a little bit more, you see some of those recent craft releases like the olive version, which I want to say those were going around that $225, very similar to this. And even those olives have hit for certain sizes. I've seen them going on sale back then. Now that first craft that dropped, it was like a I'm trying to think, it was like a gray one or not. I feel like when the first Jordan 4 craft dropped, it did very well. Then after a while, they started kind of like some pairs and certain sizes were hit or miss. But with that being said, I think this will be definitely a highly sought after shoe. I think these will perform very, very well. So keep your eyes and ears peeled on this in the streets if this is something that you want to get your hands on. This is definitely a shoe, I'll be honest, where I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. I like this shoe and I would have bought this shoe, but I ain't got the money for this shoe right now. I just don't. Like, I don't got the money to drop $225 right now on this particular shoe, especially when we got another reason why is because I got to drop $200 on this. Like, I just can't drop $1,000 a month on shoes anymore. It is what it is, you know. And I think we all can agree, right? We all can agree. Like, we don't have $1,000 in luxury like we once did each and every single week just to be dropping on shoes. I mean, that's 56 weeks, $1,000 a week. That's $56,000 a year. I ain't got it like that. This is one I really do like, but it's gonna be a pass for me because I gotta get these. These are my shoe of July, at least for now. And of course, also the KD4 Nerfs. So that puts me at that 300 already off the rip. So with that being said, unfortunately, these are gonna be a pass, but these are definitely a pickup if you are, like, if you want these, you will be highly, highly happy and impressed if you can get them. With that being said, I'm gonna end you guys and girls off with an on-foot review, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.